Cheers, everyone. Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you again for joining me. These last few days, we actually have some news we're talking about. Two things in particular. The first is the announcement from Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy that Republicans are opening up an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. And the second thing from just a few hours ago, the announcement from the DOJ that they are indicting Hunter Biden on federal gun charges. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, you would know I'm very tough on Republicans, very skeptical. I don't think they're just incompetent, but in many cases, I think they are complicit with the deep state, which is why they drag their feet and sit on their hands as Donald Trump, is viciously attacked with state charges, federal charges, civil charges. And what do Republicans do? They go on Twitter and say a bunch of stuff, but actually do nothing. So with these two things, you might say, well, Dave, finally some consequences for Hunter Biden, for his activities, consequences for Joe Biden. You should be happy. Finally, things are happening. Well, I am not happy. I do not buy into this. I think this is all just a choreographed way for they or them, the establishment, to present to Republicans, conservatives, that something's happening when in reality nothing is substantially happening. And again, this is all just a show. So why do I say this? Well, let's first start with the impeachment inquiry. Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House. Let's go back to when he was trying to get the votes to become Speaker. There were Republican holdouts who were concerned that he would be a rhino, he would be an establishment Republican, and not actually do anything. So they held out and demanded a bunch of concessions. Well, I think their concerns were legitimate because as Speaker of the House, he has been relatively useless. And one congressman in particular who has been nipping at his heels, pointing out his weakness, is Congressman Matt Gaetz, who points out that we still don't have the January 6th tapes. We haven't subpoenaed anybody and dragged them in front of Congress and grilled them. We haven't done enough, and there is more we could do, but that Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, isn't doing it. So McCarthy is weak, and it's not just Matt Gaetz noticing and MAGA Republicans, but if you go to his Twitter page and you look at the tweets from McCarthy or from X, you will notice that all the replies are not from angry Democrats. They're from angry Republicans saying, why aren't you doing more? So with angry Republicans in the House, angry constituents, I think McCarthy is being pushed to do something. And this is an observation that the New York Times made in a recent headline where they say McCarthy facing an ouster and a shutdown, orders and impeachment inquiry. The move against President Biden, which Speaker Kevin McCarthy has been signaling for weeks, comes as some far-right House Republicans are irate over spending and threatening to depose him. And that's really what it is. He has been pressured by enough people to finally announce this impeachment inquiry. But here is the problem. If his heart is not in it, and he doesn't really want to do it, how effective can this impeachment inquiry be? We need somebody leading it who really wants to do it, and that person is not Kevin McCarthy, and that is my concern. So let's say Joe Biden is impeached. It will go to the Senate, where, of course, he will not be convicted. And then what? Because of the two impeachments against Trump, the whole stigma of impeachment is gone. So electorally, I don't think an impeachment hearing, an impeachment will have that much of an effect on Joe Biden. What we really need to do, and I've said this before in other videos, we need to subpoena people like Victoria Nuland, CIA Director William Burns, a whole ton of people Talk about Nord Stream. Were we involved? Put them on record. Put them under oath. This is how you make them nervous, not this impeachment hearing against Biden, which ultimately won't do anything. Now, am I going to be wrong about this? I don't think so, but I sincerely do hope I am wrong because I would love to actually see something happening, but with this, just not buying into it. Now let's move on to the federal charges against the first son, Hunter Biden. Crack smoker extraordinaire, frequenter of prostitutes, and overall degenerate. Now, if you get past all that, this guy has lived a pretty interesting life. And as I said before, or mentioned before, we have the federal firearms charges against him. And so, is this bad for Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, these charges? Not only are they not bad, but I will argue that they are good for Hunter and Joe Biden. And why is that? Well, we know that he did violate the law, the federal law as far as the firearms. So that's a lock. Now, if the DOJ doesn't charge him right now, and Trump becomes president, and the DOJ under Trump charges him, Hunter Biden is screwed. Because if he's convicted, there's no daddy in the White House to pardon him. So if you're Hunter Biden, you want these things charged right now. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait for them to be charged under Donald Trump if he were to be elected. So charge him now, and whether or not Biden wins, he will, of course, pardon him after the election. If he wins, then he's again his second term, so there's no political fallout. That's going to really hurt him. And if he loses, well, he's not president, and people will be, expecting him to pardon his son anyway. So it works in the advantage of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, obviously, to charge him right now when they have control of the executive. Secondly, if we're going to look at how this might actually help them electorally, what have the Never Trumpers been saying? They've been saying that these charges against Trump are legitimate. And the rest of us go, no, these are not legitimate. This is BS. This is a corrupt system. Now the Never Trumpers will look at these charges and go, ha, we told you. They have just federally indicted the son of a sitting president. So all these accusations that the DOJ is corrupt, and there's no justice, is wrong. And so they will use the charges against Hunter Biden to legitimize the charges against Donald Trump. So not only do these indictments not hurt Hunter and Joe Biden and Democrats, it actually helps them. So do not be fooled by it. Anybody you see saying that this is great for Republicans, we're finally seeing some justice for the Democrats and for Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. No, this is a very good thing. And behind the scenes, obviously, Joe Biden, Merrick Garland, the DOJ, Democrats, they've gamed all of this out to make sure that they get the best possible outcome, because no way a DOJ run by Merrick Garland is going to do something to hurt Joe Biden and Democrats as far as re-election. And the last thing too, Joe Biden is supposedly running again for re-election, but we know he has dementia. He's old as hell. And so a lot of Democrats concerned that if he runs, it'll be a disaster. So they have this hanging here that, they can leverage against him to maybe get him to drop out and have someone like, say, Gavin Newsom running. So there are, three different reasons here why these charges are not bad for Democrats, not bad for Hunter and Joe Biden, although the last one there could be used as leverage against Joe Biden, but collectively it is good for Democrats, not bad. So I'm not optimistic. Why should I be? I've been paying attention for the last 30, 40 years, watching what's going on, and this is all part of the show, all to make us think something is really happening. Real justice, real results. Nah, this is not it. do not be fooled. Well, that's it for now. If you are new to my channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.